sudden, you look at NFL history, you have the most receptions, starting your career, and then outside looking in, and all of a sudden you see a guy like Michael Thomas breaks your record, and now you're on the same team. And it's pretty special to be that many receptions and being a part of NFL history.
Yeah, it's a great thing. You know, Mike has always been an extreme talent and has had an incredible work ethic. You know, and you know, watching his career become what it is, you know, I'm excited. I know you guys, us as well, are excited to see him back out there.
Jarvis, you guys got a chance to break the monotony a little bit today, practice in front of fans. Just how much does that boost up the team after a couple of days of slogging through the heat?
Yeah, it still was hot, but you know, it was good. You know, the energy was there even from driving up. You know, they had the welcoming party out there going on, and you know, you could feel the energy, you could feel the excitement around this team, and we fed off that a little bit today for sure.
What's it like being able to do that in front of hometown fans here where you're from?
It's always a good thing. It's always a good thing. You know, I hear so many people from Vacherie and Destrehan and all the places, the neck of the woods that I, my stomping grounds. So you know, it was good to be out there and hear the excitement from the fans.
Jarvis, I know this is your first exposure to Jameis, but he's talked a lot about trying to improve his short area accuracy. What's just been your impression of him throwing to that area of the field so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty accurate. You know, obviously, me and him, we've missed a couple, but at the end of the day, we make sure that we stay after practice. And that's something that, his work ethic shows. That's where his work ethic shows. Grabbing guys and staying after practice to make sure that we can hit those routes that we may have missed in routes on air or in practice, or if he just didn't get it and he wants to get it. So, he has an incredible work ethic.
Can you explain why that might be difficult, like say improving, intermediate routes versus the default per se?
I'm not a quarterback, so I can't answer that question.
I just wondered if the wide receivers had perspective of that. I mean, I know it's a good question.
I mean, from a wide receiver standpoint, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. From a wide receiver standpoint, I think it's more about, the angles that we're setting. On certain routes that we run, once we set an angle, we're supposed to stay on that angle, So for us, whether we got to evade someone or change our angle a little bit, that can mess up the quarterback a little bit. So, a lot of it goes hand in hand with not only with how the ball is being thrown, but, what we're doing as receivers and how we run our routes.
Hey, Jarvis, you mentioned Destrehan. Have you talked to Kirk Merritt much of kind of taking him under your wing at all?
Who?
Kirk Merritt.
Yeah, Kirk is, he's going to be a great player. He works extremely hard. He has a great, mindset toward the game. He's made a couple plays here so far that has flashed his talent and his speed, and it's a long camp, but, we're excited about the upside of the for sure.
Now, obviously, Mike wasn't out there today, but, what has been your impression of him the first 3-4 days of camp?
I mean, he's been present. He's been present in meetings on the field. He's a hard worker. Even when we get breaks, we still with the receiver coach, working on our craft. And that's one thing Mike loves this game. And it kills him not to be out there and being able to fully participate with us. But he's making sure that he's doing everything he can to be back out there.
Jarvis, Thursday was the first time you got to run routes alongside Taysom Hill. How much freedom does that give you as a receiver, and how unique of a player is Taysom?
Yeah, man, he was one of the people that I was excited to see. I know he's coming off an injury, so to see him out there running routes, putting his hand in the ground, making guys miss, catching the football, the way that he plays in space, he's definitely a guy for us that you would just consider an athlete, and that shows.
Does that kind of give you more versatility of routes, run, and with Pete calling plays that kind of open the field up for you, having guys like him, Kamara in the passing game? Yeah,
I mean, I think the offense in general, has this this flow, that can have this flow, of where the ball goes, and but that's up to Pete, that's up to Pete, and also guys, proving it here right now, that they can be trusted with the ball in their hands and in situations. So, we're all trying to prove that right now. But yeah, we got a lot of guys that can make plays.
Jarvis, D.A. talked about the level of competition out here, or making sure that he brings in competitors. What's that been like for you, just in terms of the competitive nature?
Well, it's a high level of competitiveness here in this building. You know, especially in that defense side. You know, they're talking. They're competing at a high level. I think that's kind of really the makeup of our team. You know, that's what we want to do. We want to compete. We want to outwork our opponent now. You know, DA does a great job of making sure he reiterates that, you know, every time we have a team meeting, before practice, after practice, just kind of our DNA.
And you set the tone here, leading, you know, your team in each season in reception. What's that like, bringing your veteran experience, and how are you able to help some of the guys like Chris and even like Mike, just any, you know, this receiving core? What's that like for you, and what are you noticing in this group?
Yeah, I think we all feeding off of each other a little bit. You know, we all learning things from each other. There's a high level of vulnerability as far as just, you know, things that we've all been through on the field, off the field, whatever it is, you know, and you build a brotherhood and you build a bond throughout this time of being locked away, and it's only football. And I think our receiver room is gelling together through you know, the history of the plays that we've made in the NFL, and also the young guys are stepping up as well.
Jarvis, what perspective, when you look at a guy like CD Deuce, now he's your teammate, but let's say the receivers around the NFL, what do they think of CD Deuce? Like before you were a teammate of his now?
Yeah, he was one of the players before I got here. My mom was like, "Watch out for 22." But you know, he being here and being around Chauncey and seeing the passion that he has for the game, and you know how much he loves life, you know, and the way that he plays the game. You know, he's one of the most competitive people that I've been around, and that's something that is contagious. That's something that you can see other guys feed off of. And that's what you want on your team, and I'm happy I get a chance to play against him, compete against him in practice. I'm getting better already.
The cornerback group as a whole, just kind of what stands out about those guys, the depth and the talent that they have on the depth chart.
Yeah, they got real depth. They got guys that can come in and play right away, play right now. I think the thing that sticks out the most for me is the versatility. You know, you got a lot of guys that can play corner, a lot of guys that can play nickel. Even Chauncey, he'll go back to safety every now and then. So, you know, there's a lot of versatility in the secondary. All those guys have ball skills and you know, can make plays. So
a lot of those guys are kind of like long and physical, just from receiver perspective. Like that type of cornerback, like what's the challenge they present, just kind of in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's recognizing that, you know, recognizing their skill sets, you know, but trying to play to our strengths as receivers. You know, we try to play to our strengths as often as possible, as much as possible, you know, and understanding that, you know, those guys they get paid too, you know, and it's going to be challenging. They're going to challenge you all the way up into the catch point, you know what I mean? So, you know, it makes us better as receivers, and by doing that, it makes them even better at their position as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, Jarvis.